So you may have already seen this coming. Today, we are diving into the latest on the Artemi Panarin bidding war. Yes, that's right, the last video on the channel was talking about New York Rangers captain JT Miller, but this time we're talking about the guy who leads the team in points and who is a very valuable UFA to be. Every few hours, we're getting new updates, new conversation points, new commentary topics from folks like LeBrun, Pagnotta, Dreger, and especially Elliotte Friedman on the latest on Artemi Panarin. And today, we're diving into what Friedman spoke about on yesterday's NHL broadcast of Hockey Night in Canada. Take a look at this Postmate. It was posted by Puck Report NHL. It's essentially all the details that we know at the moment of the Artemi Panarin bidding war. It's a graphic of teams interested in Panarin per Elliotte Friedman, with or without an extension. Right now, an extension is more important to Panarin himself. It's like free agency for the New York Rangers. Now, these are the teams that are interested in Panarin with an extension. These are the teams that are interested in him without an extension. Carolina is on both lists because, depending on who you talk to, it seems like there isn't a very clear answer as to whether or not they want to re-sign Panarin or not. Now, I'll give a disclaimer at the beginning before we dive into this list. These teams are not teams that Panarin himself would like to extend with or not like to extend with. These are just teams and their preferences as to whether or not they want to extend Artemi Panarin upon trading for him. Teams with the extensions are the Washington Capitals, the LA Kings, the San Jose Sharks, the Florida Panthers, the Detroit Red Wings, and maybe the Carolina Hurricanes. Teams that want to get him without an extension include the Colorado Avalanche, the Dallas Stars, Anaheim Ducks, and again, maybe the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, there are conversations to have about every single one of these teams, and that's exactly what is written about here by NHL News at the bottom. More notes from Elliotte Friedman on the 32 Thoughts podcast. Artemi Panarin's extension ask is about $50 million, either 4 times 12.5 or 5 times 10. So, if you are a Capitals team, a Kings team, Sharks, Panthers, or Red Wings team, you might have to be willing to shell out the bag for Artemi Panarin until he's 38, 39. Again, I've mentioned a few times that I don't really have any apprehensions about that. He's 34 right now. He is on pace for 86 points over 78 games. He is still a very capable scorer, especially on a bad Rangers team, that if there's anybody that's going to defy and break the rule that says that you shouldn't invest into hockey players into their second half of their 30s, Artemi Panarin is probably one of those guys. I mean, he has been elite. He's a former 120-point scorer. I don't think you should classify Panarin in the same level of regular NHLer that usually fizzles away after age 35 and beyond. This guy's still on pace for a way over point per game season. So, Artemi Panarin getting $10 million a year in his next contract, especially with the state of the NHL and the direction that these AAVs are going down, I honestly don't think it's that bad. Washington, only interested in an extension because they may not make the playoffs. Some other teams, though, they think they've been aggressive. Imagine Ovi and Panarin playing together. The Russian prosperity on Washington would be through the roof. And Artemi Panarin, of course, would probably give Ovi some more stuff to play for in the last few years of his NHL career. In terms of the LA Kings, there is interest, but they are worried about how big the extension will be. They've also been internally asking what the smartest path and direction forward is. So the Kings do not seem like they're fully committed to giving that extension at the moment, but they are interested in talking about it. With the departure of Anze Kopitar inevitable, you can say that there is probably some reason they would want to go out there and shell out as much money as they can to an aging UFA like this. Panarin can be the short-term replacement, identity-wise, for the LA Kings. Scrolling down over here, in regards to the San Jose Sharks, there is mutual interest in Panarin with an extension, but Elliotte Friedman has heard mixed things about them, like how much desire there really is on both sides. Does Artemi Panarin want to go to San Jose? Sure, they're a young team, they're on the up and up, Celebrini is amazing, but does he want to spend the next 5 years of his career there, where he's not guaranteed to making the playoffs every year, and he's not guaranteed to being on a contender? Unlike the Florida Panthers, Panarin really wants to go there, but Elliotte Friedman does not see them extending him at the initial ask. A lot of teams are wondering if they could actually pull this off. So for the Panthers, seems like they're going to try to do some cap shenanigans, state tax, whatever stuff to get Panarin at a lower AAV. Nobody's too sure if they can give him a full $10 million, $12.5 million AAV contract. And considering the success that Florida has had the past 2 years, I think that makes a lot of sense. Then scrolling down into some of these other teams, Detroit, Steve Yzerman is a vault, but he likes to get his guys with term. He doesn't like rentals. Friedman, though, definitely thinks there is interest in Panarin. That makes a lot of sense. We'd been talking this entire time about how Stevie Y does not like to get short-term guys. He wants commitment. He wants years. If Panarin goes over to Detroit, you best better believe it comes with an extension in hand for him to play with Patrick Kane and whatever. It's funny because Kane's not even extended past this year. So Panarin would just have to go off of word of mouth and good vibes in order to re-sign with Detroit and the Red Wings. And then you talk about Carolina. Both sides, because depending on who you talk to, they're either interested in an extension or without. They are flexible, but it affects what they might be willing to pay in a trade. Yeah, that makes sense. Carolina signing him to an extension obviously would warrant a higher trade price. A rental Panarin would probably go for a little bit less, so that goes without saying. Then you dive into these last teams here. Colorado is interested in Panarin, but they cannot do an extension because Natchez is kicking in and Makar is up in a year. For Dallas, as long as their goal is to sign Jason Robertson, they can't do with an extension to Artemi Panarin, and they want to sign J-Rob. And then in Anaheim, if an extension is required, they are out. They tried to ask if they can trade for him, then see if it's a fit and sign him later. The Panarin camp didn't eat that. He only wants to move once. Plus, they will inevitably have to deal with Karlsson and Gauthier extensions. So, these are all pretty fair things as well, but could you imagine Colorado, the best team in the NHL, adding Artemi Panarin? They already added Brock Nelson last year. Panarin would add an entirely new element of offensive pressure on their wingers, so yeah, Colorado, please stay away from Artemi Panarin. It's already guaranteed that you guys are pretty much winning the cup this year anyway. Panarin would just make that even more solidified. Dallas, same thing. They're very good, but they gotta re-sign Jason Robertson. And then for Anaheim, I think it's pretty smart that they asked, hey, can we just get this guy and see if he's a fit and then sign him after? But seems like Panarin does not want to do that. He does not want to move more than once. The trade will have the extension probably, and unless he's willing to go to a team like Colorado short term, it doesn't seem like Panarin is settling for a non-extension destination. So that's the update on the bidding war for Artemi Panarin and the New York Rangers. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about these notes? Where do you think Panarin is going to go? I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.